Hi everyone, this is Paras and Shivam from Design Originals Club. Today we have Rahul with us, and today we are going to talk about design hiring. When you apply to a company, how much time designers spend on the portfolio, and then how does the portfolio evaluation looks like? How about the whiteboarding exercises? You know what to do, what not to do. We are going to talk about all the practical things around the design hiring process. Now over to Rahul. So Rahul, can you briefly give an introduction? You know, what are you doing right now? What have you done in the past?
Great. My name is Rahul. So I've been in product design since past 6+ years, and my I've been in multiple areas in design. So I started with service, and then eventually for past 3 to 4 years, I have shifted to product design. So initially I was in the Rapido team, and then I joined another edtech startup, and now currently I'm working in healthcare space called Orange Health Labs, where we're trying to deliver a high quality uh, healthcare and pathology tests at home for customers. So my day-to-day task is all about getting the right balance between a business goal and a user goal, and ultimately, solve a problem and deliver good experience for my customers. So that's what I do on a daily basis.
Cool. And so, how long have you been involved in the design hiring?
So it's been on and off. So during my service area, early service companies have been hiring for the team, and for the past 2 to 3 years, when my previous product companies too, I've been involved in hiring in Rapido as well, and that's how it is. I've been hiring since past 2 to 3 years.
Now, over to Paras. You know, he will just
All
give a
right.
summary. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Cool. So Rahul, just to give a structure to this conversation, so we'll be keeping it in four parts. So
Mm-hmm.
first would be around portfolios. We would be asking you questions around portfolios. Then we would be asking around the design tasks, take-home assignments.
Okay.
Then around whiteboarding sessions, and in the end, mostly around how do you make the final call of hiring a designer.
All right. Cool.
So cool. So I will start with the first one, which is the portfolio evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
So, just to start with, like, what is the most important thing that you look for in a portfolio when you receive it from a designer or anywhere?
Okay. So
Hmm.
ultimately, I feel the first touch point for a designer is having a well written CV. So, how
Hmm.
normally it goes is that I think the design team kind of briefs the talent acquisition team that we need so and so fit for our team, and the
Hmm.
actual sourcing that happens is in a talent acquisition. So, I think
Hmm.
even before a portfolio, the first and the most important document I would say is a well written, crisp resume, where
Hmm.
mainly click on the first project that the designer has put up. Because
Okay.
I don't go through the heading and make a decision, because I kind
Hmm.
of expect that, okay, fine, the designer has put like the first tile, I'll click on that, and then I spend like good 30 minutes to just understand a bunch of metrics. Like, number one,
Hmm.
how well the designer has communicated the problem. Because
Hmm.
I feel most of the problems that we work on is like highly complex, sophisticated, and I think how simple he or she makes the problem, how,
Hmm.
just consider that I'm a layman, I don't know what you're trying to do, and
Hmm.
if you're able to communicate that, I think that's a great plus point. And then, of course, like the usual skills, right? How well you're doing your research, how well you've understood your problem, and how well you have gone ahead and executed. Are you able to showcase the journey from the beginning to the end? And even if it's a success or a fail, I don't really care a lot about how the solution panned out, because
Hmm.
solutions could be multifold. Because it's not one person taking a decision, it's like an entire team. But I want to see the journey and how you have retrospected and what you have learned from the project and how you can
Hmm.
like make it better.
Okay.
Mm.
Rahul, you focused on the problem-solving skills mentioned in a portfolio. So can you like tell something more about it? Like how do you actually assess that problem-solving skills from a portfolio?
Got it. So, like,
Hmm.
I'll give you one example. If someone
Hmm.
starts portfolio with the onboarding had like a 40% drop off, that's not really a problem
Hmm.
statement. That's an
Hmm.
outcome because of some problem. Like, first of all,
Hmm.
have you understood why that drop off is happening? Have you done the necessary
Hmm.
tasks? Because that is key. That is what I'm looking
Hmm.
for. Like, if the case study starts with, okay, I'm improve like the onboarding is broken, there's this drop off, the first question is, okay, what is the problem statement there, rather than the
Hmm.
business statement. So that's what I'm looking for. If you're trying
Got
to
it.
do a redesign, the question is why. Have you done some sort of so basically problem statement are mainly in two folds. It's either quantitative or qualitative, or it could be both. And that is
Hmm.
what I'm looking for. And what is the qualitative
Got it.
insight that has helped you understand why is it happening the way it is
Hmm.
happening, or a
Got
quantitative
it.
insights on what's the current situation like on your flow. So
Hmm.
a good detailed simple explanation of the problem, I think that
Hmm.
is what is the most impactful problem statement I'm looking for.
Hmm. Got
Example, in my portfolio, even the kind of background I've used, the fonts that I used, it is something that represents me,
Hmm.
and
True.
that's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I expect. And the mistake is definitely like you're trying to be someone. I think there are a bunch of inspirations out there, so you try to do
Hmm.
something that others have done. That's definitely not. I think take some time, try to figure out who you are, what you want to represent, do that, and
Hmm.
also put in the effort. I think it's very clear when you read the case study or the portfolio that the designer has done, whether how much effort that person has put in. Like, for me, a big no no is like have an external link. Don't make me
Hmm.
click, go to a document. Like, what I believe is everything can be simplified and communicated. So communication is a
Hmm.
very important skill to have. I think in the last is focus on the, like, you build it with passion. No grammar issues. I know that
Hmm.
we are all not focused on grammar on a day-to-day basis, but I think we have a bunch of tools today to just like cross-check,
Hmm.
proofread, see if there are any spelling errors. That's like a big no. I
Hmm.
think these are majorly what I see. Effort,
Yep.
quality, errors, and represent yourself
Yep. So details do matter. Yep.
a lot,
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
I don't
Hmm.
know the last time, like, because see, even when we design any page, I think we focus a lot even on what the resolution of the image has to be.
Hmm.
And actually when our pages get coded, and even the space of every image matters. So we try to get the best quality in the most optimized, size possible. So if we are
Hmm.
putting that kind of effort, I think the designers who are trying to get hired should also.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
I
also
have a very
one
small
side note.
story to share. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
Please,
yeah.
yeah.
actually,
Please,
I do
yeah.
have
Share.
actually, I do have a designer in my team. Like whenever I see him working, he's like fixing that 0.002 pixel gap as well. And like his work really looks amazing as well because it's like pixel perfect, detailed and all. It does matter, honestly. But yeah,
Does
anyways.
matter. I think I have like a major. I wouldn't call myself like an OCD person. I think OCD is a very
Hmm.
serious, bigger issue. But if
Hmm.
something is misplaced, I do come to know. If
Hmm.
a font is 14 and somewhere else you have used 13.5, I can find it
Hmm.
out.
Yep.
I can see that, and it just shows that, first of all, why is it 13.5?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
these things do matter. I think, design is
Hmm.
simple, but you just need to show the detailed work that you've put in. Even from
Hmm.
the smallest metadata that you have tried to show in, I want to
Hmm.
see that. I want to see that layout of card that you have put. I want to see why the decisions have
Hmm.
been to put a particular metadata and not the other ones.
Hmm.
And I think
True.
it's in the details. Like, I don't want to see, if a project is having, I think, minimum 150 180 screens. I don't want to see all of them. That
Hmm.
of course it's not possible, no one does it. I want to see the best flow and your best work in detail. That's it.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
True.
I also know a designer, so his approach when he was applying for jobs was that he used to have different portfolios and different CVs for different companies. And it's very nice.
Hmm.
The portfolio was
Oh.
similar, but he used to do first research in the about the company, that what kind of designers they're looking
Hmm.
for, and then based on that he would just customize the copy and brings the projects up and down as per the importance. Like
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
example, Paras is hiring
Yes.
for someone with a good product thinking, so he will feature a product which involves his product thinking.
Hmm.
And let's say Rahul is hiring a designer with great visual design. So he will highlight a project on the
Hmm.
top which has good visual design. And also similarly, he also make changes in
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
CV. So he was applying to a place where they were crazy about
Very
metrics. So
smart.
he mentioned the bullet points,
Yeah.
80% increase that.
Hmm.
So it's just minor
Hmm.
things. And even when you
But
apply
they do
cold
matter,
reach
yeah.
out, yeah, they do. And also I think also having a, if you can purchase, it's not that expensive, but I understand if you can purchase a domain name also, that also is
Hmm.
nice. And some people also with the
Yeah.
email they add, let's say Rahul at the rate rahulmohan.com. It's
Yeah.
better than having
Hmm.
Rahul 1640 at the rate gmail.com. So these small things are
That,
also
that
shows
makes
you're on every journey, that there's attention to detail and care. Yeah,
attention to detail does
Hmm.
matter. Yes, yes.
yeah, yeah.
Like I'm okay. Like if see
Hmm.
Framer, if you have a free version, even if you have Paras Arya slash Framer dot sign, it's okay. It's fine.
It's
Like
Hmm.
okay.
it's
Yeah.
up to everyone has different financial conditions. That's completely all right.
Hmm.
But at
Hmm.
least like okay, you've put in the effort to build a page and show your work.
Hmm.
I think that's kudos to that definitely. But if anyone can afford
Hmm.
it, please go for it. And I think you should not these tools do empower you. Go
Exactly.
for
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
Yeah. And also one thing you mentioned, you said you spent 30 minutes on a
Hmm.
portfolio. So do you
Yeah,
spend like
minimum.
I'm curious, how many portfolios you get for a job? Maybe you can, if you have different portfolios
Yeah,
for entry level versus senior, and
got it.
how do you allocate 30 minutes? Because yeah, I would love to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically the range is around 15 to 30. Depends on the
Hmm.
case study. So why first of all, why do I invest so much of time? Because I do respect the other person's effort, who's put in the effort to write. So it's my duty, even if it is post office hours, it's my duty to just like read it all. So I pick one case study. As I said, I don't choose the case study. The first one, I pick it. I make sure I read every word of it, and what
Hmm.
the designer is trying to communicate.
Hmm.
That's it. That's what I do. I just read the case study, first letter to the last letter. And the sec if the
Hmm.
person is, if he's interesting and I want to know a little bit more, then I choose the second project to read.
Hmm.
So how many, so basically what I do is I split it for a week's time. So 15 to 20 minutes I can easily go through like four portfolios in a day aram se. It's not
Hmm.
going to bug me a
Hmm.
lot.
Hmm.
I feel I'm fortunate enough to prioritize my time really well and have a great company where
Hmm.
we don't we don't overwork so much. Okay.
Hmm.
So we, if someone is hiring, we make sure that he's given the right time. So I take good couple of hours a day to just like
Hmm.
go through it, and it is split from morning to evening, and sometimes I just read couple of case studies at home as well. So
Hmm.
that's how I do it, because I can read it on a phone. I can, that's also important, like responsive design, because most of the time I do
Hmm.
Hmm.
case studies on my phone. It's not just on a
Hmm.
laptop or a bigger screen. I'm driving back home, or I'm in a cab, or I reached home. I just have some time, I'm having coffee. I'll open up my phone and I'll read the case study. I do
Yeah.
that as well.
Oh, this is great. You spend such time, being very
Yeah.
considerate of the other designers who are applying. So,
Yes.
Paras, any other questions around the portfolio or
No,
portfolio
I think
evaluation?
I think
Yeah.
I'm good with portfolio evaluation, and thanks for your honest views. I think we can move to the next section, which is on the take home assignment. I think Shivam, you can ask the
Cool.
Yeah.
questions from Rahul.
So,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, sure. So, Rahul, post the portfolio evaluation, uh, like, do you like to do a design task, or or do you do whiteboarding? How does the next step looks for the designers? And
Hmm.
yeah, and how
Perfect.
many designers come through that step? What's the ratio of that?
Hmm.
Understood. So, what normally we do is we get, let's say, I'm going through four portfolios a day, and or max to max, like I would read around 15 case studies a week. I think that's, I would read that, and we take a call key. Okay, at least who are those five, six people that I can talk to? Okay, that is
Hmm.
what is the next call I need to take. And we don't really have a cap, because
Hmm.
I'll tell you one thing: if like a best case ideal scenario, if out of 15 all 15 are good, I don't mind, having a chat with them as well. So that's not really the key. Like, I need to filter it out. That's not important for me, because I think the actual decision would come when I have a chat with them face to face. So that is the next task. I do not give design task. Like, I am completely, that doesn't work for me.
Okay.
I I do not get any value from it. I'm not able
Hmm.
to judge the person or in any criteria possible, because that is why I spend a good 15-20 minutes on his portfolio, because I expect all the things that I want to, because that is kind of like a take home assignment, right? Like,
Hmm.
he's taken an effort
Hmm.
to work on a project and write the case study. That's a take home assignment for me, and it does the job. So if someone is getting shortlisted for for a whiteboarding session, that would normally be the next round, is someone who has like kind of passed your design task. I don't have a separate design task. So that's how it is. That is why for me portfolio matters a lot. So if you feel that,
Hmm.
okay, let me compromise on the portfolio because I will do a good job in case a design task.
Hmm. Hmm.
There are designers who don't give design task. I've worked with, at
Hmm.
least like in Rapido, I never gave design task. Might be now they could be, but I never used to give. In my previous company, I never gave design task. Even in the
Yeah.
current company, I recently joined this company. I was not given a design task, and even if there's a new designer
Nice.
coming, I will not give a design task.
Hmm.
So
That is
that's like
nice.
a good
Hmm.
three companies, right? So
Hmm.
the next round would be a good whiteboarding session. Like, prepare for it. Like, that's the next round. It's a good
Hmm.
2 to 3 hours of jamming that we're gonna do. You know,
Hmm.
Right.
so
I appreciate that.
back
Yeah,
up for
because
that.
design
That's like
task.
the next.
Yep. Hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And what about whiteboarding? Like, how do you structure a
Yeah,
whiteboarding sessions for the candidates, and
Hmm.
how do you evaluate them? And
got it.
yeah, maybe at the end you can share some tips for them, some practical, actionable tips that
Hmm.
they can apply to succeed in the
Got it.
whiteboarding. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So once your portfolio is done, your portfolio
Hmm.
review is done. I don't want to. We're not discussing that. It's done. So now
Hmm.
it's the
Hmm.
next phase. We call you, come to the office. Let's jam for like 2 to 3 hours, whatever.
Hmm.
Like, even if it's more, I'm happy to spend time. So normally I block like half a day.
Hmm.
So how do I structure it? So either it's a document that I share, or it's a verbal communication on what is the business problem and what is the user problem. Okay, for example, I would like, I never work on, I try to avoid working on my own product, because it is
Hmm. Hmm.
not fair. I have better context than the other person. So so let's say I take splitwise, or I take um, um, let's take an example, splitwise work. So let's say splitwise, or any of the product which is like doing good
Hmm.
or okayish. I'll just try to give any random business
Hmm.
problem. Let's say, how would we increase your premium subscriptions? And then I'll just zip myself. I'll just full stop, and
Hmm.
then I want to see how the person takes over. Okay, so
Hmm.
what I'm looking for, there's no structure. It's just this. I'll just give like one or two statements, and it could be a document I'll share. I'll just ask him to read it, the first thing that I'll see is how would that person take charge. Okay, like what are the questions he's trying to ask,
Hmm.
and what kind of thinking he's trying to do, is he trying to challenge the problem statement, you know so that's what I'm trying to judge, because I have already seen his designs. I have seen his skills on
Hmm.
how the screens, how does he craft the experience. I've seen that. Now I want to see how does he think, how does he work in the room with two or three designers in the room. So whiteboarding normally I don't do it alone. It's
Hmm.
me along with like a couple of more designers. So it's like an actual design room that you have with. It's like I'm trying to understand, if tomorrow this designer comes onto the table, how does he perform?
Hmm.
How does he work
Hmm.
with all of us? So it's all about collaboration, communication, the kind of questions you're trying to ask, the kind of. So if you asked about tips, right? So the thing is, I don't want to see you rushing to the problem. I'm not looking for a solution. I'm not looking for a solution because I don't
Hmm.
even know the problem is real. You know, I want to see
Hmm.
like how can you, how do you go about it? What kind
Hmm.
of how you're collaborating with the other designers? Are you treating us like we are interviewing you, or are you treating us like a team trying to head to a solution? you know
Hmm.
that's what happens. And a good whiteboarding session, you would not even know, like a couple of hours have gone past, you know
Hmm.
like oh, it's 2 hours, is 2 hours are done, like great. Because it's
Hmm.
jamming, right? Like you're just like brainstorming together.
Yeah.
Vibe check.
Yes,
Kind of.
vibe check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
yeah.
Actually, I do have a follow-up question. Rahul, you told us that you spend a lot of time on each candidate, and you're also okay with having a lot of candidates
Yes, yes.
on the like interviewing.
Ideal
So,
situation, till now it has not happened. Till now it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
happening. Like when we
But yeah,
call for whiteboarding, it's usually like 2 or 3 a week. That's it.
hmm.
Mm,
Still
Yeah.
a good number. So again,
Yeah.
like since you like, what do you do when you have multiple strong candidates? How do you pick one or
mm,
two, like whatever is the number of people that you're hiring? Like, what
Okay.
is that X factor that you look for? Like, this is the person. Yep.
Got it. Oh, when you
Hmm.
mean like multiple strong candidate for the final offer letter or for the next round?
Uh, Whichever. Like, I
Okay.
think for the you can share your views on both here.
Got it. Okay. So,
Hmm.
see, in whiteboarding, I'm just looking for uh, number one, communication. Okay.
Hmm.
Analytical thinking. How have you
Hmm.
how have you broken down the problem?
Hmm.
So the designers gave the business problem and the user problem. What kind of data would you try to look into? What kind of qualitative insights you would like to look into? And just making sense of the problem. So that's basically like analytical, critical thinking, what you would say.
Hmm.
Then I think a good session on ideations, like, okay, these are the problems. Okay, we could go, what are the ABC things that we could possibly do to craft or
Hmm.
to solve those problems that you have identified. Okay,
Hmm.
and then I think you asked for the X factor, right? I think X factor, again, it lies in the details. For
Hmm.
example, the way you break down the problem,
Hmm.
someone who is like really matured, I think who he will have the grip on uh, what kind of data to look into, how
Hmm.
design would impact the business. Like very few designers have an understanding on business,
Hmm.
so I think these are the X factors, like who brings that extra, who puts in that extra effort, or bring, as you call, like the X factor. Some would also go ahead and build like a future scope. Okay, I would probably ship the feature like this, and I would do like an A/B. Then I would look into the fails and the success.
Hmm.
That shows, okay, how the person thinks. So I'm pretty open, like, uh, as I told you, some designers even like come out like, this is what the future could look like, and this is, so that shows
Hmm.
like this person, his future scoping, his problem statement.
mm,
Hmm.
These are the X factors.
yeah.
I think matured, seasoned people would think that way. you know
Mm,
Hmm. Got it.
yeah.
Cool. So this was that. Shyam, do you have other questions? Because I have two, three more. If you have
Yeah, yeah,
anything,
please,
you can go
please
ahead.
carry on, carry on. Yeah, great.
Yes, this is. I think for the hiring thing, we are good. Also, you told.
Okay.
I think you must have also been involved in getting hired. So, anything
Yeah.
you want to share there?
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so the thing is, just a sec.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah. I have a good share of being rejected also, and that's a
No,
part
no,
and
no, please, please, please go ahead.
part and
Hmm.
parcel of being, getting hired.
Hmm.
That's okay. I'll tell you why. So, since I've been on both the sides,
Hmm.
hiring or getting hired. So, from a designer who's getting hired, uh, for you, it's about trying to find the best working culture for you. Okay,
Hmm.
not every company that you apply is the right company for you. That's the harsh reality. So,
Hmm.
like, I have interviewed, like, I was very clear that I want to work in uh, smaller teams who works on deeper problems. So
Hmm.
I tried avoiding companies that goes into like a lot of experimenting with the and then
Hmm.
figuring out what to do. uh,
Hmm.
so so I filter down my company. So how do you do that? Like, you just like talk to people, try to understand what kind of work. I pretty much know a lot of designers who work in most of the companies, so I try to get an understanding on how the
Hmm.
company works. And from a designer getting hired, my perspective is to just find the right company. That's how is it.
Hmm.
How it is. So I'm not the kind of designer I'll apply for 100 companies or 50 companies or 30 companies a day, just LinkedIn apply, apply. I don't do that. So, and from the company's point of view, I think again, you're trying to find the right fit for your company. You know, uh,
Hmm.
it's just that the skills should match, the need should match. You might be the great, really good designer. It just could be that okay, someone is as good as you in the company and they're just not looking for you. Okay, so I think
Hmm.
rejection is a part and parcel. So I passed. I think past uh, 2 months I was like busy getting hired. I
Hmm.
was applying for companies. I went through a lot of interviews, goods, bads. I've gone through interviews which had like 7 steps, God
Hmm.
knows what. Design
Hmm.
task, then design task about design presentation, then that presentation I'll present to two more teams. And I'm like, okay, then I like, okay, might be they have a communication problem within the team. I don't want to work with such big teams. Then okay, fine, I'll
Hmm.
withdraw my application. It's fine.
Got
I'm
it.
not very picky about it. It's okay. So I
Hmm.
think from whole and soul, it's about you also trying to find the right company, and the company is trying to find the right fit. That's it. And when
Hmm.
that perfect match, it takes time to have the perfect match. And I think
Hmm.
there were two three things that I did regularly when I was getting hired. Number one, the first day I applied, and
Hmm.
the day I got offered, my portfolio went through two or three changes. Why?
Okay.
Because every time I sent, either I got a rejection, I emailed back, hey, okay, it's fine, but can I have a feedback on what didn't go well? So I collected those feedback. I did not apply for the next 2 3 days. I made those changes, you know
Hmm.
whichever made sense to me. CV got changed like 2 3 times. My portfolio completely changed. Like, it went through three iterations, so-called iterations that you can call, and then I landed
Hmm.
a job. Right. So because I'm
Okay.
collecting feedbacks, I'm implementing them, and then I'm applying again. Again, I'll get a rejection. Then I will
Hmm.
take the feedback again. I'll change it. Then I'll apply again. Okay. and I was just patient, just like patiently, like just trying to find the perfect match.
Hmm. He sounds very sorted. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, very well structured, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
So,
No,
so
but nice. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
when I left my previous company,
Hmm.
I the first thing that I did was 2 months. I went on a break. I met my
Okay.
cousins. We partied. We chilled. We
Nice.
traveled. We just then we came home. Came home and like, okay, now let me work on the portfolio. So
Hmm.
one complete month I gave on building the portfolio, because this is my mistake. I think this is a learning that every designer should have. Please keep your portfolio updated, or else you're
Hmm.
gonna spend like 2 3 weeks just building that. So I
Hmm.
spent that, and then I applied. So it was all slow. So it's because
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
don't want to hurry on getting the right job. Because I'll tell you, I think it's just that I can say share the source link is with you as well. So
Hmm.
during COVID time, design hiring was through the
Hmm.
roof. I think everyone got hired. It's just shocking to see that post the pandemic, 70% of job listings have come down. Okay,
Hmm.
like there are lesser jobs, and shockingly, the pay is kept on increasing.
Hmm.
So what does that tell? It tells us that the demand is there. It is just that business has got more serious now. Okay, people
Hmm.
want designers who are genuine, serious, seasoned, matured,
Yeah.
who can like bring in the value, bring in the
Hmm.
learning that they have had in the previous companies to actually deliver an impact. Okay,
Hmm.
so that hence the pay has still been increasing, it's not reduced, but the job has actually it has reduced for sure.
Hmm.
So I think definitely anyone who's trying to get hired, it will be slow, it will not be fast,
Hmm.
because the
Hmm. Hmm.
scale has reduced. But the good side is the scope is still there. Like if you're a good
Hmm.
designer who can actually bring impact, there is a space for you.
Also, Rahul, like since you have had a fair share of this journey, so are there any tips or any things that you want to share for people who are early in their career or just starting out? Like some things that they can do to, get better at this design game.
In general, design or design hiring?
No, no,
Design.
no. Like in general, like someone
Design,
who is
right?
early in their career
Got it.
or
Got
is
it.
starting out in design. Yeah.
Got it. I see. As I said, first thing is find
Hmm.
your space. Like you are not you're not the designer who is the next door. You can't be that person.
Hmm.
Don't. I think that's what's happening now. Most of the designers are just trying to be like each other. Like we
Hmm.
can't. That's not how it is, right? Like you have a certain kind of skills, and that could be the you can call you an expert in those areas. Okay, it could be through your background. That's why I always say that
Hmm.
don't don't kill the things that you are other than your designer. Like you're a photographer, framing is the most important aspect when you design. What
Hmm.
information should come up, how do you compose your screen, and if you're a traveler, you like talking to people, great. Like these are the skills. So find who you are, because it will become
Hmm.
easy for you to position yourself and be a part of the industry, and you can be a part of the industry for a very long time. So
Hmm.
you will be secure, you would be able to bring an impact, or more than more the most important aspect is you would enjoy what you're doing, because you got hired for
Hmm.
the right reason. you know and that's important. Like people have this misconception that I need to show my design process to get hired. Great, yes, that will get you shortlisted. But for you to be a part of the team, it's all your skills. You could be
Yeah.
a great
Yeah.
Hmm.
like you would be writing poems. Oh, great, fine. Or you would be someone who took an Instagram page from 0 to 6,000. Like
Hmm.
that's a great skill. Like I feel you
Yep.
have to find your niche, work on that, and then all these
Hmm.
other technical skills, it could be psychology, research, design, these are something that you will acquire. And but the other part that I call them soft skills would make you a designer who are who is who how do I put it, like you can differentiate yourself from the rest, and you can actually
Hmm.
position yourself like, okay, what kind of designer am I? Because
Hmm.
not you can't join every company has different goals. Someone is looking
Hmm.
for a very funky designer who is having great motion design skills. I think we all know which product we're talking about. Like, that's
Hmm.
fine. Like if that is the space, then you have to be culturally, you have to fit in that space. You have to be
Hmm.
like obsessive about motion design, art direction. You should be passionate about seeing the frames of movies or how cinematography works, etc. But if you're there are other companies too where who require different set of skill set.
Hmm.
Not my previous company, most of the products, most of the users were using products in Chromebook. They had Chromebook, and I can't craft motion designs there.
Hmm. Hmm.
So things change, and you have to figure out uh, where do you fit in the best, and have fun.
Hmm.
After that, things will just design everything you can learn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Originality is mostly talking about, no,
Very
like that.
important. And
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
something that we lack as well. I feel like it could be
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
very
Hmm. Hmm.
controversial
Yeah. Yeah.
opinion, but when I look into portfolios in like outside India, I think everyone is trying to show a personality,
Mm.
Hmm.
and are we is the question. Like we
Yeah.
the design in Japan is different, design in US is different, design
Hmm.
in India is different.
Mm.
So find that originality and represent yourself through that portfolio or the work that you're doing, and passionately do it.
Hmm.
Yep. Yeah. That's why I think I believe in a portfolio, we should focus a lot on the about us page, not only the work and case studies
Hmm.
page. Yeah,
Right.
in the about us page,
Right.
tell what you do more than apart from work. How do you spend your free
Correct.
time?
Hmm.
Like, do you like to read on
Absolutely.
weekend? Do you have pets, or I don't know, like as you mentioned, photography,
Hmm.
etc. Maybe it doesn't need to be anything fancy.
Right.
Simple, even just your what you're reading gives a lot of idea about your taste,
Abs-
about you as a person. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's
Absolutely.
highly recommended.
You like
Lot of people.
PlayStation? Great. RPGs are like the best way to what do you call it? Role playing games? Yeah,
Yeah.
RPGs, right? These are not like time wasters. They help you, open up your minds a lot. They can,
Yeah.
board
Hmm.
games. I spend a lot of time playing board games. I have a neighbor who loves board games. We just like hang out and we're playing board games most of the time. It's just it's so strategic, and it questions or challenges your point of view as well, the way you think. It's not just design. After I finish my work in office, I come home, and most of the time I'm doing something else. Either a book, either a
Mm.
game, either PlayStation, you
Mm.
know and
Yeah.
sometimes cooking.
Hmm.
So these things do matter, you know
A
of
lot, right?
how you want to
Yeah.
position yourself as a designer, and embrace that.
Right. Cool. I think I am done from my side. Paras, anything else left you want to ask?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I love
Also,
that we went to across
yeah, it
all
was so much
tangents,
fun talking to you.
Yes, yes. Thanks a lot, Rahul.
Yeah.
Before we leave, anything
Yes.
you want to plug in about yourself or anything you want to mention?
Hmm.
All right. Okay. So nothing much. I don't sell anything, so I don't have nothing to plug in. But
Yeah.
you want to know something else? Let me know.
No, I think we'll just add your social below in the description, your
Great.
LinkedIn, Twitter,
Hmm.
etc. And yeah, if
Great.
anyone could reach out, they can send you a message there. And
Great.
it's been a great
Yes.
time talking. Like so fun, lot of insights.
Yep.
I'm really excited about this.
Yes.
When we make this live. Yeah,
Thanks.
Yep. Honest
And yeah, I
insights.
think
Yep.
I can plug
Hmm.
in. You can. I think you should all give it a shot for Orange Health, man. I think uh,
Okay.
true. You know, um, competitors are great. But we are trying to do something else. We are focusing a lot on customer experience,
Hmm.
not just the digital. And I think that is what sets us apart. Um, Even I'll tell you, even from the uniform or the dress, the person who is coming to collect your blood sample has been well
Hmm.
thought and designed.
wonderful.
Because
Nice.
remember, in psychology, the visceral emotion, the first impression matters a lot, and
Hmm.
it creates the first, as the word says, first impression. And give it a shot, see how it is.
Hmm.
And if you have any feedback, feel free to
Hmm.
email me. But I think you should give it a shot. I'm really impressed, and honestly, like, when I joined Orange Health, I did not use the product, but all
Okay.
my friends, even including my wife, like everyone used, and they all had good feedback. And this was, I didn't tell them that I'm interviewing there and I'm trying, I'm having a chat and trying to get a, I would be soon joining. They had no view on that, but I just got unbiased feedback, and it was like really shocking to see, like, except me, everyone knows about this but not me.
Yeah.
So are you also hiring designers right now at Orange Health?
So Orange Health, so we are a very small team.
Hmm.
We're not looking for a designer as of now, but you
Hmm.
know, if we are, I think LinkedIn would be the first place. But if you're
Hmm.
really good in networking, you would receive a call from one of the designers for a referral, because it's a
Hmm.
very small team. We don't have
Okay.
the process where we have to share a referral. We'll just directly call you. So
Okay.
that way, so LinkedIn would be the first place to find it out, but
Hmm.
Mm.
currently
Yeah.
we're not hiring.
Cool, cool. But
Sure.
like I have worked with Rahul in the past. He's a nice guy to work with. So nice.
Appreciated, Pals.
Yeah.
It was, I know, the
Yeah.
Yeah.
early
Cool.
days in Bangalore
Hmm.
and Pune.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Right.
Cool. So cool, Rahul. It was so much fun talking to you. Thanks a lot for your views. So I think we're
Cool.
gonna end this video right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Thanks,
Bye. Thank
guys.
you,
Okay.
Rahul.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.